How's it going, you beautiful assholes? I am Jake the Ashen Hollow, and as you know, the new trailer for the DLC, the first DLC Dark Souls will release, just came out. So I'm going to sit down with a really good friend of mine, ParagonDS, and we're going to delve into this trailer for you guys. So I hope you enjoy. Sit back and relax.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it here already. This looks
All right.
beautiful.
Oh, absolutely.
I really hope that the particles and stuff, like the snow particles, are actually in the game and they're not just post.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. It looks, at least, that it's a fairly open area, which I think will be really neat.
Oh yeah,
Rather than kind of confined area, just like this big snowy forest that you is just open to explore would be really awesome.
yeah. It kind of reminds me of Dark Root Basin in a way, but a more flat version, like with less trees and stuff. Just
Yeah.
that
Oh,
open
definitely.
feeling.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks really fucking gorgeous. Wait, something else I didn't notice. Those trees looks like they're moving. They have little torches on them.
Hmm. Yeah. Kind of like the embers coming off of a
Yeah.
unkindled one. Huh.
Hmm. Subtle.
That is
Subtle.
interesting. Oh, you know what? Actually, there's an image that the Dark Souls Facebook page also released, like stills from the DLC video, as well as a couple other that weren't in it.
All right.
And there's a picture of a knight just standing in, like kind of like the beginning here in the open snowy forest. And to the right, you could actually see a really tall, slender, like feminine like creature that I guess is supposed to be like lurking. So that could be
Oh shit!
a type of those enemies or something. So not sure, but
It's
just my
like
guess.
Slender Man almost.
Yeah.
I just can't get over how gorgeous this looks from a video maker's perspective. Oh god, I'm gonna have so much fun here.
No. Oh, absolutely, dude.
If you are like us, another forlorn soul.
Another forlorn soul. Forlorn
Yes.
confirmed.
Forlorn. I think it's interesting that they're using almost a word for word text of, I believe it's the Corvian storyteller's staff, or it's one of the Corvian weapons that specifically says that the Corvians are forlorn souls with nowhere to go. So I find it curious that they use almost the exact words
Ah,
in this trailer,
interesting.
which I think it's kind of obvious that it's hinting towards the painted world, even if you didn't hear that.
Oh yeah,
But
definitely. I mean, we'll even see later in the trailer that
yeah,
it's just painted world all over again.
oh yeah,
Okay, so this is where it gets interesting for me, because when I
okay,
played through Dark Souls 3, like my very first playthrough, I was like, when I got to Emma, I was like, okay, there's two other chairs here.
mm-hmm,
I think this lady here and Emma might be somewhat, you know,
connected.
could have a connection.
Hmm,
That
I could see that.
that was that's what I took away from this trailer, like just, and especially later when he hands with the handkerchief. We'll get to it. With the handkerchief, it just reminds
Yeah,
me of Emma. So
yeah. The beads were something that I found curious as well, because I think we
this,
see. Yeah.
but yeah, I know what you
Oh
mean about
man.
the beads. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is
So,
interesting.
oh yeah. I think, and my first thought as well, and I think a lot of people's first thought is Velka,
Okay.
but I don't think that's actually the case.
So
Oh,
the architecture looks very similar to the room that's again with Emma and the dancer, like with
oh,
the
absolutely, absolutely.
wooden spires and whatnot. But
Yes.
a big thing that's brought up here is the bowl.
Mm-hmm.
People are saying it's the Lord Vessel. I don't think it is.
I don't think, like, I understand where they're coming from, but I think a lot of people have the tendency to, as soon as they see a large bowl in Dark Souls, it's Lord Vessel. But I mean, I do see where it's coming from. It is interesting, but I think it's supposed to more resemble the type of bowl we see. I think it was called the Basin of Vows that we place to fight the dancer. I think it's supposed to more resemble something like that.
I'll tell you what it made me think of. In the profaned capital, the big bowl that shoots fire at you.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of.
It is interesting because I think at some point in this trailer she does pour fire from it. Or he, rather.
Oh, you think it's a he?
Well, again, the Dark Souls official Facebook, when they posted the stills from the trailer, I'll read you exactly the subtitle they put on the one of this character we're looking at now. It says, "A man is strapped down to a chair and is peering into the depths of a large golden cistern. What does he see when he gazes into the dark?"
Ah. Okay. But
so I think it's definitely related. He kind of looks kind of like a Mega Corvian to me. So I think
that makes sense actually.
Some relation. And of course, when we think of Corvians and crows and stuff, we think some semblance of Velka at the very least.
What is going to be interesting to discover is why because he's whipping himself, isn't he?
Yeah.
The thing that I came up with was I can't remember who did it. I think it was in Dark Souls 2. Someone tortured Hollows with a whip. I can't remember who it was. But my thought was maybe the jailer or whatever has become hollowed, so he's torturing himself.
Yeah.
But I think it's just that symbolism of whipping himself is just really cool.
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely symbolic of repentance for sure. I forget that it was an art, or I guess not an art to everyone, but especially in older times, they would whip themselves as like an act of atonement. So I think again, it's very symbolic again. Yeah, of sin, absolutely. And of course, I mean, when you think Painted World, you think Velka anyway. So
yeah. So here we are in the Cathedral of the Deep.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That very first bonfire before you open the two side doors.
Question is, who is this character?
I do not know.
People were saying, I've heard people say it's Hodrick. I don't think that to be the case though.
Yeah.
Honest to God, I have no idea who this is, but I think he is important because I think he's in a second cutscene which involves another person.
Yes.
But who he is, no idea. That looks, to me, like the room you fight the dancer in with the window. With like, the big window where you can see. And again, like the connection that I think this woman has, because we've seen her before, to Emma. I honest to God think that because what was Emma? She was she was like a wet nurse, wasn't she?
Yeah. Yes, to Prince Lothar.
Yeah. And I honest to God think that this is gonna involve her in some way or another.
Yeah, so there's another picture they put up of this character on their Facebook, and it's more of just like a concept painting or art of her. And somebody, I don't remember the name, so I apologize for that, but somebody had said that they found a file somewhere in the games that said painter NPC, and it was related to her. Which is interesting because we never really found out the identity of Ariamis.
Oh yeah.
So it would be something worth considering, at least, that we could finally find the painter in this DLC specifically.
Yeah, that's because you have to remember as well, the painted world was the very first level designed in Dark Souls 1.
Yeah.
So they really just could have done absolutely anything, and for them to then expand on it, oh, it would have been so good.
Ah, absolutely.
Lady Flame.
Dark Souls, just the word Dark Souls.
Just Dark Souls. That is all.
Oh, God. I know I've bashed on like references and looking back at Dark Souls 1, but oh God, that kind of annoyed me. Civ?
Sif confirmed.
Well, you know, people have legitimately said Civ.
I mean,
I don't think so personally.
it could, be like some relation to him or her.
As in relation, you mean it's a wolf?
Yeah,
and it's just another wolf.
Yeah, I know. We all want to hang out with Sif again. Trust me, I'd love to see the fluffy dude for sure, but I just don't think so.
I don't think it's going to be Civ.
Yeah,
which is a shame because if you're going to make callbacks, at least make good ones. And Civ is a good one.
I'm under the impression that the dead wolf we see in Farron is Sif anyway, but
oh really?
That's besides the point.
Oh, interesting. And that was the shot. This is the shot that did it for me. I was like, okay, painted world.
Oh, absolutely. I think someone on Imager actually put a side-by-side of like this painting into the cathedral thing we see right here and in the old painted world, and it looks like the old painted world was the ruins, and it could almost like mesh up perfectly to what it would have looked like would be this cathedral we see here.
I mean, again, I know it's classic Dark Souls players. We are looking far too into this. All we see in front of us is
absolutely.
a rickety bridge in some snow and a building at the end, and we immediately think painted world.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, they absolutely knew what they were doing when they put this trailer together. They're like, okay, we're using this because this will get them talking for sure.
Yeah, but no, I think if you had doubts about the painted world, I think that pretty much solidifies it.
Yeah.
Like, solidifies its existence, I should say.
Yeah, an interesting theory I had was, because we know the painted world was kind of a unique place, and it was... So, I guess what I'm trying to say is the painting was based off of the real world, and I think this is where we go in the real world that the painting was inspired by, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never thought of it that way. I always thought like the painted world was this completely otherworldly dimension, but I guess someone's had to paint it.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
It's a fickle thing.
Oh, yeah. Time is convoluted.
Yep. Problem solved.
New enemies. Looks like they're straight out of Bloodborne. I love them already.
Oh, yeah.
They look like big flies.
Yeah, undead flies. It's
like
very humanoid as well.
That's like, I don't know, like thinking of experiments and stuff. Like, I know you mentioned, in Bloodborne, there's like these crow dogs, half dog, half crow, and it just reminds me of them, really. It's like these experiments gone wrong, and something tells me that, because what are flies known for? They're kind of there, and they just eat the shit on the world, don't they, really? Yep. Something tells me that these flies are gonna kind of maybe consume like undead. Yeah. And, whether it's full of humanity, I don't even know if humanity is a thing anymore. But like, because obviously the more humanity you consume, like, I mean, we've seen the gaping dragon, like what it did to him. Yeah. Maybe these are just literally normal flies, and they've just feasted on the corpses of. Yeah. I think that'd be interesting. That's pretty cool.
There's actually two things about this room I want to talk about. In the still image we get from the DLC video, so in Dark Souls 1, when we go in the painted world, we go down into like the sewers where we fight the bone wheel skeletons. you remember there's a lever you pull and like cranks a chain, and it's what turns the statue of Velka up above you.
Yeah.
And it's what like opens the big doors or whatever.
Yeah.
In the still of this image, behind a pillar that looks identical to the pillar it looked like in Dark Souls 1 is the exact same contraption, where it's a wheel that's like moving the chains.
Oh, interesting.
And then in that picture, you can also see more of the corpses that are in this room, and they all look like the like melted and fused together dead bodies that we find all around like Yorm's boss room and the Profaned Capital. So I thought that was really interesting as well, especially when we were talking about the Profaned Flame and that ball.
I mean, when we go to the Painted World, there's those Spartan-esque creatures around Velka's statue, isn't there? And they kind of look all almost melted.
Yeah, exactly. So that's very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, something tells me that this might be a part of the Profaned Capital.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Maybe we do. I mean, we joked about it a couple of weeks back, but maybe we do actually go further down. And this is what's lurking at the bottom. Oh, that's interesting.
That would be... Yeah. It's...
So in essence of things, maybe this is near the beginning of the DLC where we traverse the Profaned Capital. And then because... I don't know. I can't remember how close the Boreal Valley is to the Profaned Capital. It's fairly close, isn't it? Because it's like the next zone. Yeah. Something tells me that we're going to go down, and then this is going to be at the bottom or whatever, and then there's going to be a, kind of like a cave opening or whatever, and that's where the Painted World's going to be. That's kind of my speculation. Anyway. Well, on top of other speculations that I have, like I mentioned with Emma and stuff.
Yeah. Actually, something I just noticed that's on the screen right now is originally I kind of thought it was snow, because it kind of looks like there's a hole in the roof, and it kind of looks like there's snow coming down, but I think actually the way that it's shaped kind of looks more like ashes and embers.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Floating around and glittering in the... I don't know if it's sunlight per se, but in the light, especially the one nearest the top, just looks like a really big flake of ash or something to me anyways.
I mean, it's pretty hard to decipher snow and ash, but no, that's completely valid. Again, we've had a screenshot from the PvP arena, and it looks like it's the kiln.
Kiln, yeah.
Maybe this is under the kiln. Interesting.
Very interesting indeed.
These guys look fucking awesome.
I want that armor. That's all I want from this DLC.
The first thing I thought of was Vikings.
Yes.
Oh, it looks so cool.
Absolutely.
Something kind of just... I just want Viking, warships or something like that. What they called? The long boats. I can't remember what they're called. But no, these guys look fucking awesome.
Yeah. That's kind of similar to the giant sentries in Ulasil that we fight in the DLC. How he kind of sticks his big axe into the ground and then yanks up the earth.
Yeah.
Kind of similar to that. Might just be, rehashing ideas, but just thought we should cover every idea.
Oh, yeah. So, we have the first taste of a new weapon.
Yep.
And it looks fucking awesome. It looks so... You can't really see it, what it actually is, but it looks like a straight sword almost, but infused with kind of like this hex kind of spell, kind of like Lady Maria's katanas. Oh, yeah, that would be so fucking cool. I would use it
in yeah, in the image they actually released for it, the sword kind of looks like it's making like a chain link fence almost, like it's a chain.
Oh, really?
And just gone all the way down. And in the picture they released for it looks ridiculously long, like washing pole long.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah, but I am very curious as to what exactly the essence of what's coming off of it is supposed to be. It definitely looks like the darkness of humanity for sure.
If we can have that as... So how I picture this weapon, how it's going to act is it's going to act as a normal, whatever it be, a great sword or a straight sword, but the weapon art is going to kind of unleash this, what we see here, the darkness in it. And I hope to God that we have a same visual style as Lady Maria's weapons when she's slashing them and all of the stuff's flying off. Oh, that would be so cool. So cool. But one can hope. Another miracle. This looks cool.
Oh yeah, the spinning disc.
The spinning disc. Bloody Captain America.
That, and the first thing I thought of was Krillin holding a Destructo disc over his head, getting ready to chuck it. That's pretty neat. Definitely excited for more offensive miracles.
I remember you mentioned about scale. This area looks big.
Yeah.
Looks like a massive area.
And this group of enemy looks like a pain in the ass.
Oh yeah, well it's kind of like the equivalent of dogs.
Yeah, about rats. 5 or 6 of them. Like, oh man.
Yeah. But one thing I do find curious is they don't look messed up.
Yeah, almost like just normal.
Yeah, they literally
wolves.
look like like I said, normal wolves. Like they don't look like they're undead. Actually thinking about it, very few things apart from maybe bosses look undead in here.
Yeah, it's very rare. So that is.
But I think that was an interesting kind of
curious
thing because dogs play kind of an important role alongside rats, because in Dark Souls 1, rats, you found a lot of humanity with them. In 2, they were kind of the equivalent. I'm trying to think of what creature drops embers like consistently in Dark Souls 3.
Anytime I'm on the spot, like my brain just goes...
I can't think of anything. If you guys know it, any creature that drops embers, please let us know.
Because the rats don't. The rats will drop like small souls that you can pop.
So this next still is in the basement area
of
Irithyll, which kind of almost worried me in a way, because they use this again in the next still. We'll actually see we are still in the base game, and it kind of worried me in regards to the amount of content we're gonna have. Surely they could have showcased this in a new area and not given too much away.
Yeah, I think I definitely had the same concerns, but I think it's Dark Souls doesn't ever want to reveal too much. It's kind of their thing. So I think where they could showcase like spells and stuff without actually giving you more details on the DLC, they would probably just kind of do that somewhere else.
Yeah, and I guess
it's just my guess, anyways.
I guess what's the darkest area that looks the best with fire? It's this place.
And actually, what is interesting is it almost seems like you're doing pyromancies with the torch, which
it looks like. When I thought of it, it looks like, you know, the people you find at like carnivals and stuff with like the flame spitters or whatever. Kind of looks like that.
Oh, is he blowing it out?
It looks, well, he's holding it to his face, isn't he? So I almost thought it was going to be a consumable. But yeah, like you said, he's using the torch, so I don't know if it's going to be a pyromancy or not.
Yeah, because I was just going to say the only other times we see someone with a torch like using pyromancies is like the bloated undeads in the Painted World.
Yeah, and this next still. Frost spells.
Frost sorcerers.
But we're in what looks like to be Ethereal Dungeon.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, Frostbitten isn't very good. It really isn't. And sure, it looks cool, but no one's going to use it if it's bad, and that's just the mindset behind a Dark Souls player.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone wants to use kind of the best things.
Perhaps with us going to like a really cold and snowy DLC, it may be something they're going to consider reworking a little bit.
I hope so.
Which would be cool to see because I like the idea behind it, definitely. But I think it should definitely be more punishable, if that makes sense.
I wish
anytime I get frostbitten, it's not really a big deal.
I wish Frostbitten, and I'm going to get so much hate for this, I wish Frostbitten worked like May does in Overwatch.
Oh, yeah, just completely freeze somebody, yeah.
That would be, one, awesome, two, really actually quite helpful gameplay-wise, and it's just a poor man's bleed at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, we have frost spells, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do with them. Interestingly enough, I'm guessing they're going to have 3 new spells, because I think that's what they did last time.
Yeah.
Like on Dark Souls 2, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they released 3 new spells with each DLC. Or 2, I can't remember. But I'm guessing there's going to be more in... We're going to have more Frost and more Miracles and stuff. But yeah. Frost, exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, definitely.
So.
This guy.
Same character.
Yeah.
Now he's holding a somewhat handkerchief-looking thing.
Actually, when they put it up on their Facebook, they said it's a bloodied, dingy cloth.
Okay, so it is kind of like a handkerchief, but...
Yeah. Well, I thought that the word dingy was pretty specific because every time we get the Fire Keeper's robes and stuff, they're always referred to as dingy.
Okay. So, I'm just reciting this from the top of my head, but when Emma is on the floor, I swear there is a piece of cloth next to her. I can't remember for certain, but it's either that or the beads. I know there's something near her.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I can picture pretty much what you're talking about. I just can't put my finger on exactly.
I'll pull up a photo, and if we're wrong, then oh well.
That beard, though.
So, it looks very clean armor for one.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think about this.
I don't know.
I mean, on the other hand, that could be us on the left.
Yeah, I think that's supposed to represent us.
Yeah, because I don't think. Again, tell me if I'm wrong, but in every single cutscene, we're involved in all Souls games.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, there's a few that aren't, but for the most part, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember. There's lots of armors in Dark Souls 3, so I'm not too certain what gauntlets they are, but they look like knight leggings.
Yeah, I think they're just kind of rocking the standard knight set, I believe.
Yeah. So yeah, that's probably us, to be fair. Still looks like we are in the Cathedral of the Deep.
Yep.
With the backdrop, you can see it slightly. It looks like the altar. So
yep.
Yeah.
Right beside the bonfire. Yeah. Now here's where I kind of wanted to mention what you mentioned before about the dancer, because when we summon the dancer, I guess you would call it, is when that night the statue of the knight beheading itself kind of fills the cistern up with blood, and then the dancer appears.
I get what you mean now.
Yeah, I think we're kind of seeing the same thing, or at least something similar happening here.
Right. That's interesting, actually. Like,
yeah,
almost as a sacrificial kind of thing, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, because the way the dancer works is she gets teleported from we're guessing Ethereal to join us in the where Emma is. So maybe a act of like sacrifice or whatever. Again, this could be just completely speaking out my ass, but maybe it acts as food for a portal. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I can see that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how tangible that is, but again, I'm throwing theories out there, but
yeah.
Because you need the Basin of Vows, don't you, to summon Dancer? Even if you do it early, like on New Game Plus, you still need to put the basin down.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So she still needs to have that blood sacrifice to be able to part in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't think of that. Again, that raises the question: what is this bowl? It can't be the what is it?
The Lord Vessel.
The Lord Vessel. It can't be.
No, I don't think it is. I think it's smaller in scale.
It looks deeper as well.
Vessel. Yeah.
Maybe it's the true Lord Vessel. I've heard that. That's been a thing.
Yeah. Time will tell.
So, I got
we see a
really
handful of bosses we've
here.
already fought. Yeah, I'm not sure if this is just filler or these bosses are going to have at least some sort of connection to the story.
I don't think this is... Originally, I thought this was filler. But if we look at it, we've got... Who have we got? We've got Aceros, Nameless King, the Princes, and Aldrich.
Yep.
What do they have in common? So Aceros and the Princes,
Royal
obviously.
Lions.
Royal Lions, yeah, because what if the Nameless King is actually the Gwyn's firstborn?
Yeah.
Royal Lines. Aldrich. Maybe we find that out in this DLC.
Yes, we will.
But I really did think this was a shitty filler at first, but I don't think that's the case.
I don't
anymore.
think they would. Yeah, they're not lazy with it. I don't think. It's a clue.
Yeah, it's gotta be 100%. This looks like a cutscene similar to the Archdragon Peaks, where you get summoned.
Yeah.
And look where we are.
Untinted
Graves. This is either a spell that they're showcasing, kind of like Affinity, or a port factor. What we're saying is like the theories that we've come up with is it's taken us all around the map. We had a theory that involves Emma starting there, and one that was in the Boreal Valley, one in Profane Capital, and now we're in the Untinted Graves.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's kind of like I would love for it to alter the game's state, like the base game state. I think that would be really interesting. But
2 more months. We'll find out for sure.
But I don't think that's a spell because it doesn't look like he has a chime or a catalyst. There is some flame coming off him.
It kind of a little bit looks like he's casting that warmth pyromancy, something similar to that. But there are like little like ghostly figures in the I don't know if you'd call that smoke maybe or some kind of essence of something.
They almost look comical as well. Like it looks like your classic spooky ghost.
Yeah.
It'd be really interesting to find out what that is. Whether because it's kind of because when you get summoned or teleport, it's a very exactly what the animation is, what the sound is like.
Yeah.
But this is just like, is this a spell?
Yeah.
Quite interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, thinking about it now, we've seen miracles, we've seen sorceries.
Sorcery.
Haven't seen. Oh, I guess we have kind of seen a pyromancy.
It depends on whether or not. Yeah. If.
But like I said, it looks like in his right hand he has a flame.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is a tough one. Whether it's a spell or a teleport, but I guess we'll find out.
Yep.
Okay, so everyone thinks this is Vodka.
Yeah. I did at first, but again, like I was saying, the caption they gave the picture called it a he about 4 or 5 times. So
the thing that stands out for me is the crow feathers.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I think it's definitely tied to Velkin one way or another. I mean, but in the same way, so are the Corvians.
Yeah.
So this is, while we see a lot of whoever this is, I think that's going to remain the biggest mystery until.
I did read a theory that this is Nito's wife.
Ah.
But I don't think that holds any merit whatsoever.
Yeah.
It would be cool.
Even know where to start with that.
It would be cool,
just say,
but no.
Think what you want. That's what the games are about. So.
But I mean, the design of this boss just looks amazing.
Absolutely.
It kind of makes me wish this is what Nashandra looked like.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it does look very like what's the word? Something of Manus.
Shard of Manus.
Shard of Manus. It does.
Or Fragment of Manus.
Yeah.
I guess that would be interesting if there were. I mean, because I think we meet 4 fragments of Manus in 2.
Nashandra.
I don't think anywhere ever says that there isn't more. So.
Oh no, there's got to be more. There's got to be more. Because he basically, what is it? He's split up into like little tiny pieces or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's got to be more than 4.
Absolutely. I think.
But the design is just really top notch here. I mean, like I said, Bloodborne is one of my favorite games, so this looks like it's straight out of Bloodborne, and I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Exciting to say the least. I think the rest of the trailer is just there's.
So, originally, I thought this was in the same room as Emma.
Mm-hmm.
Same architecture, same kind of shelving that we only see in Lothric Castle.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll later discover that it's the same room as the boss with the bowl. But I honest to God think we're going to start this game. We're going to start this DLC in Lothric Castle.
Yeah.
And we are going to get it from Emma.
That. Yeah. That would make a lot of sense.
Before she dies.
Yeah.
She's going to give us a key when she's alive, or when we revisit her, when she's on the ground. She's going to give us a key. Mm-hmm. We are going to fight the dancer or whatever. And something's going to happen. Something is going to happen there. I am calling it right now.
I can see that. Definitely. A lot of semblance to it.
I mean, you find no other like shelving or architecture like this, or even lamps anywhere apart from Lothric Castle.
Yeah.
Because it's so unique.
Interesting to see. Yeah. And I actually did not mean to forget this, but I was supposed to leave to pick up my child about 3 minutes ago.
Okay, yeah, go for it, dude. Go for it, man.
But I think the rest of this trailer is just, like a continuation of the fight from the mysterious figure. So I think we covered about everything.
We pretty much covered everything. We've been talking for 40 minutes about a 2-minute video. This is what Dark Souls did to us.
Yeah, that's quintessentially Dark Souls right there. That's what it's about. Okay,
right. So you go pick up your kid and be a good dad. I'll speak to you later.
I take it easy, everyone.
with the Ashen Hollow suddenly having to depart. I hope you've liked this, guys. This is really interesting. It was an awesome trailer. I hope you enjoyed listening to me and the Ashen Hollow. If you liked it, please leave a like. It would mean a hell of a lot to me. And take care, everyone. Be good to one another, and have a great day.